Our topic is about the code of conduct of laboratory personnel. Very important topic related to the lab personnel, because in this topic you will know about the how to deal with the patient or attended with the patient and with the colleague in your clinical laboratory. First code of conduct is very simple, and it's about the loyalty toward the profession and the continuous professional improvement. It means a lab personnel should loyal with the lab profession, and he or she should know about the updated techniques or protocols to keep the lab results good and good laboratory practices. uh, it is very simple about the disease prevention and the control. A laboratory personnel should promote health care, disease prevention and control to prevent of any disease further in the. You have already passed through a pandemic, so it is easy to understand this point. A third point is very important. Lab is not a separate from a hospital. So hospital staff and lab staff must be collaborated with each other for the quality improvement, for disease prevention, and to ensure the infection free environment in the hospital. So, and is a very important thing, if this collaboration occurs effectively, then quality of results of the report will be very high, because a clinician will be able to discuss openly with the lab personnel, and then ultimately patient will not suffer, and there will no complaints will occur from a patient. A fourth point is very simple, in which our most of the setups are lacking, and it's about the courtesy toward the patient and their relatives. A patient is actually a diseased person, okay, and a relative is actually not in a good state due to such disease of his or her close one. That's why you must show sympathy to the both, and you have to deal the patient and the relative very with the sympathy. So this is very important step. Avoid using professional skills or knowledge for the personal gain, and it is very important to understand this point, because if you are sitting in any सेटअप और वहाँ पर आपको कोई आकर ये ऑफ़र करता है कि हम आप हमारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट यूज़ करें, एंड वी विल डील विद यू, एंड यू विल गेट अ पर्सनल गेन इन द फॉर्म ऑफ मनी, इन द फॉर्म ऑफ एनीथिंग, देन इट इज़ एक्चुअली नॉट गुड फॉर अ लैब पर्सनल कि एक प्रोफेशनल प्लेस पर बैठ के उस तरह के डील करें. ही और शी शुड इंश्योर द क्वालिटी फर्स्ट, देन अगर वो खुद से कोई सेटअप स्टार्ट करना चाह रहा है, बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना है, इट्स टोटली अ सेपरेट पॉइंट. ओके, सो यू शुड अवॉइड द such people in the lab. A very important step, you must have to keep the results and the information of the patient confidential. You are not authorized the results and the information of the patient outside the lab, okay, and you cannot discuss or you cannot publish the results without any consent of the patient. Another very important point is here, prioritize the well-being of the patient over personal interest. Okay, so you have to prioritize the patient, you have to ensure the safety of the patient first. Conduct your work scientifically and with the utmost honesty. It means you have to examine each and every sample with the available techniques in your laboratory. You cannot report imaginary values, imaginary results by seeing any sample, or by you shouldn't report approximate results. So conduct work scientifically and with the utmost honesty. It is very important to ensure the quality of the result. You must be honest. जो वैल्यू आई है, you will report the value Take anything with you from a lab or from any clinical setup if you are not authorized to bring with you. Okay, so refrain from taking anything from the workplace that doesn't belong to you. Use laboratory equipments carefully. A laboratory equipment is designed specifically for a specific test, so always perform a specific or designated test on a specific equipment. Do not experiment on any equipment. A lab personnel must ensure the safety of the patient, of the attendant, and his or her colleague as well. And to ensure this safety, there is actually a very important step in the safety. You must follow the safety protocols. Okay, and you must possess knowledge to how to use these protocols and how to use the instrument related to the safety. So you must know about the first aid application. If a lab is attached with the hospital, then it is easy for to establish a first aid. And if lab is separate, then a colleague and a lab personnel must know about the first aid application and when to apply and how to apply first aid process. Very important step. Our lab personnel mostly disclose the results to the patient without any authorization, so it is not appropriate and it is not valid to disclose the results to the patient as well. So do not disclose the result of the patient to anyone, and and even to the patient. You just have to report it to the, and you just have to say to the patient, show it to the doctor. Okay, so keep in mind, you are not a clinician, you are not a doctor, so that's why you are not authorized to tell the patient the results are high or low and you have such a disease. It is a doctor's duty. Doctor will put a diagnosis and treat the patient.